Dan's radio style. I knew that was going to happen. Anywho, Dan Radio Style, thanks for joining me. Toto, that was Rosanna. Love that song. And I didn't put any little gap at the end of it, so made it extremely difficult to pause quick enough, and therefore, yeah, there you go. But yeah, we'll be going out with a good tune as well. Wanted to do a quick one. I haven't actually made it. Oh, happens at a snail's pace. I think that's what I'm calling this. I guess I did somewhat put a bit of a title on this. Wanted to do a quick show kind of on a few things that I'm getting some not complaints. I'm hearing people that have this elevated sense of urgency. Things need to happen quickly. And I think in general, I think things people expect to happen more quickly than they're going to. I just, from my experience, from what I see in the world, really what brought this on, and I'm just going to say the words without having to dig into it too terribly much, but there's a lot of people that talk about disclosure, and if that means something to you, cool. If it doesn't, it just means letting out information, right? But disclosure is happening currently. It's happening right now, and it's happening at a trickle. And it's interesting because I'm seeing it all over the place in small little doses, in small little spurts, and small little bits of truth. And so it's not happening. And there's a lot of people that I see on the websites and different places, different locations that I see things happening. There's a lot of people that are either it's not happening or it is happening. There's no in-between ground. And that kind of is what sparked this entire show. It's the in-between ground where we're all at. It's not that your manifestation is happening or not happening. Stop thinking that way. It is happening. It is. It's all happening right now, as I've like to say. It done shows that talk about it, and I can't remember which one. But it's all happening right now. There's no, it happened. If it happened, you're not trying to manifest anymore. And if it's happening, which is where all of us are, then let it happen. That, I think so many of us jump onto the doubt train because it's like, I don't have it yet. And it's like, okay, but you really got to give it time. I don't know how much. It does depend on personal things for sure. It depends on all sorts of factors. And Agnes and myself and others talk about these factors. Like, that's why we do different shows on different topics. And, maybe they're not as popular sometimes because we're not saying specific someone or how to get your specific someone. But all of these techniques are meant to help you get your specific someone. And all of these factors come into play when it comes to trying to make this happen in our lives. So one thing we got to keep in mind, you got to stay open to possibilities. Many of us are trying to manifest things. We've got this specific person, whatever. You have to be open. I don't know. I could do show after show after show and come up with dozens and dozens of examples, and I would still get emails of why haven't you done an example that's for this. So try to take the concept, but when you're trying to manifest something, and if someone pops up, if a dream pops up, if someone texts you and says, hey, do you want to hang out? So-and-so is going to be there. There's no question. There's no question at all. If it's coincidentally sort of in the direction of what you're trying to manifest, yes, that's exactly what it is. Jump on it. Go. You have to be open to the possibilities. If that possibility shows up and then you go, I'm busy, I don't really want to go out, whatever, I washed my hair that night, then you're denying chances. It'll repeat probably, but that's just slowing you down too. Be open to whatever shows up. Be open. Open means open. Open doesn't mean it has to be this. That's not open. That's in fact closed. Be open. Who knows how it's going to show up? It could show up a lot of ways. It could show up in any number of ways. Dreams, songs, walking to the store, someone texts you out of the blue. You're at a random party where they happen to be. You bump into each other at the coffee shop, at some local diner, at the bar, whatever. Any place. Anything is possible. By saying it needs to be a specific way, you're limiting the universe, you're limiting yourself, you're taking away all your power. So stop. Just stop doing that. You're not helping yourself. I'm trying to help you help yourself. Your heart's going to talk to you. That's another thing. Learn to listen to that. When you feel love, when love is what you're thinking, when you're thinking of your specific someone or God, your kid or whatever, something that you love, maybe good. That feeling, that energy that flows through you when you're truly thinking of someone you love. Pay attention to your heart. Your heart's going to lead you. That love will guide you. It's not going to necessarily feel like that. You're not going to be walking down the street and look over at a shiny object and suddenly you're going to be like, and goosebumps are going to, no, but you're going to be like, and you're going to think of her and you're like, that makes me think of her or something, whatever. Follow your heart. You're like, I feel like I should just text him something. Be careful on that one because, of course, sometimes many of us have thoughts that I don't know. Follow your heart. If you're balanced and guided, you're going to learn lessons maybe along the way in this whole process. But sometimes you're going to want to text them and you shouldn't. So I don't know if that's a good one, but it really is because there's a filter that's involved and there's an aspect of control. So it really depends on where you're at in this whole scheme. If you're still on I'm trying to control everything in my life, no. If you get a wild-haired text, don't. Bad idea, probably. Just saying, playing the numbers right here. But if you're trying to force everything in your life to happen, and you're trying to constantly do all these techniques over and over and over because you're trying to make it happen quicker, don't. But if you're someone that's like, okay, it's going to take as long as it takes. I love them. I know I do. I've seen some things happen. I know when I let go and kind of get out of my way, things happen, interestingly enough. So it's happening. It's in process. You guys, if you get some crazy idea, they're like, oh, wow, sweetie, I just saw this, and I was just thinking of you. Boom, send. Awesome. That's probably going to be well received. So, again, these are also indications as far as where you're at, but your heart should lead you in the right direction. Also, sometimes we worry way too much about where we're heading. I kind of brought this up earlier, but we feel like we have to go this way. This is where it needs to happen. She's over here. This needs to happen. And honestly, sometimes detours happen in life. To get to there, sometimes you got to go around it. Sometimes there's something in the way. Sometimes there's an obstacle. Sometimes you might have a mini relationship in between relationships. You might have an odd friendship. You maybe go on a date once. And then you're like, no, I just don't, and that somehow empowers you further. But again, be open. And unless you are truly with your specific someone in a very significant fashion, or you've worked through a lot of these things where you truly just realize this is what's happening, or, all those kinds of areas, you're pretty sure you're on your path and you've probably tried a few things on the way. But if you're still not sure, you just recently broke up, they're an ex, you guys still fight when you communicate, there's still anger, maybe dating someone for a week or 2 or 4 might actually benefit you. I'm not saying give up on your ex, but get the heck away from it for a little while. Give yourself a chance to get over the emotion. There's some people that have an insane amount of emotion towards their ex. It's really hard to get back into a relationship when as soon as you start texting each other, you're already getting angry. Done. Already, ain't good. You need to step back. You need to take some breaths. You need to forgive yourself, forgive them, forgive whatever. Let it go. Because otherwise, if you can't, and you've got all this resentment and frustration and anger in your energy, then honestly, I would say just stop trying to manifest this person because you can't. From that energy, from that standpoint, it's impossible. From that, if you're resisting changing, if you're resisting getting over, if you're resisting forgiveness, if you're insisting it must happen from someone first, then it's probably not going to work real well. So again, don't be so fixated on exactly the direction. You're creating this manifestation. Universe is connecting the dots. If you're trying to connect the dots for universe, you're just going to make it take longer. That's cool. You can do it. But it will take longer. That's cool. That's all I'm saying. I'm just throwing this stuff out there. So maybe it takes a little while. Maybe it takes a long while. I don't know. I didn't know this going into my situation by any means. And as it's played out, and when I look back on it, I look back at the journey, and I look back at all the things that have happened in my life and all the wonderful changes I've made. how much better a man I think I am now than I was 5 years ago. And it's not her that made me this way. It was the thought of her. It was the desire to be the appropriate man for her. I mean, like, I just so care about this person. And I don't think I was actually ready for her when we first met, frankly. I really don't. Like, all of what's in front of me, I am becoming aware of, and I think really close. And we'll see. I don't know. We'll see. I'm enjoying the trip, though. I mean, we've texted a couple times today. I'm actually almost expecting one from her. I figured she'd hit me up on the show while we were on the show. But yeah, all these things are in process. Understand it's going to take as long as it takes. But it doesn't have to be forever, and it's not going to be tomorrow, and it's not going to probably be next week. Give it a little time. If it truly matters to you, it's worth it. If you're just coming out of a breakup and you're like a few days short and you guys have been fighting for months, no, dude, come on. You got to give it time. There's so much energy that's out of balance at this point that you just need, even a week would make an enormous difference if you could just like let go. But I know when you're in those situations, you can't. I know that. I've been there. So you got to write it out. But those are tough energies when there's all that anger and all that emotion. And then you get on the phone, you're like, I love you too, sweetie. And then you're like, bah, 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 bah. Yeah. There you go. You just undid all that good stuff. And that's cool. You love each other. And you might get back together, you might not. But ultimately, what led to all these breakups is all this anger and angst. You got to let go of it. Got to learn from it. Got to change the internal parts of ourselves that are creating these insecurities, these lacks of self-love. It's especially if you're blaming your other partner. If you find yourself wanting them to choose to change, it's honestly probably more within yourself than them. I mean, they're probably their own part of it. Don't get me wrong. But all you can control is you, and there's probably something to be said about what needs to happen there. So work on yourself. Do your self-love meditations. Understand that this has more to do with you than them. And from there, you can actually make a difference in your life. Once you realize you're the person that's in control. It's pretty cool how it works out. So one example I wanted to give, and this is kind of it, and we'll tie it up after this, and it also explains why the last song is going to play. Interstate 5, it's a major freeway / highway / interstate / thoroughfare. I don't know what other words there are for what we call freeways out here in California. But it goes north to south. I-5 goes north to south. It goes all the way up into Canada. It goes down into Mexico. Like, it's a very significant interstate. There's a place up just past Sacramento where the I-5 actually goes west. And then it goes north again. But it actually goes west. It's a north-south freeway. And if you're on this freeway and you're heading north and you're trying to go to Seattle from LA, for example, Los Angeles, the 5 freeway will take you straight to Seattle. It'll take you right through Oregon. It'll take you right up into Seattle. It'll take you all the way there. No detours, no nothing. If you're looking at your compass, you're expecting to go north and south. From LA to Seattle is basically north for the most part. Once you get past Sacramento and you start looking at your compass and you're going, we're heading west. I'm going the wrong way. No, you're not. You're going the right way. Because it's going to turn north again just about 40 miles that way. It's a detour. Sometimes we're not going to go exactly where we think we should be going. We're going to go exactly where we should be going. You're putting out to the universe, this is what I want to see. Universe, this is what I'd like to experience. Let universe do its thing. Stop fighting the choices that are before you. Universe knows the way. Your higher self knows the way. Your conscious self doesn't. And your conscious self is the one that says this is the wrong way. This isn't happening fast enough. I'm not going where I should. This didn't play out like it should. That's all filters. That's all ego-driven stuff. That's all your conscious self. Higher self and universe are doing exactly what you asked for. but the rest of you is fighting the process. So the universe goes, okay, we'll put the brakes on. Just giving you what you're asking for. And then you get frustrated. You're like, why is this taking so long? No, I don't want to go that way. Why is this taking so long? No, stop telling me to go that way. Why is this taking so long? Maybe some of us aren't listening. Listen, follow. You're there. You're giving guidance. If it seems like it's a coincidence, it's probably it. Try it. What do you got to lose? You got way more to lose by not doing it and going, should I? Should I know? Should I know? And then it's too late. Party already happened. Person already bought their coffee. Yeah, whatever. Opportunities come. You got to react. You don't get time. You don't get to go home and sulk on it and think about it. No, it's too late. You already missed the opportunity. So when they happen, follow them. That's all. It's amazing when you do. I hope this helps. I hope it makes a difference. And I hope I don't sound like I'm lecturing. I feel like I was kind of, and I didn't mean to. It wasn't like that at all. It was just there's so many different angles I've been hearing this from. And it's just like, wow, there's like a lot of different places where people really just need to step back for a second and just let this happen, man. Stop getting angry about things that like, it's way too early to be getting it. You know what I mean? Like, there's a guy that's been doing this for a long time, and I'll do it a long time more if I have to. I even told her today, I know we're going to be together. If it's today, if it's tomorrow, or if it's 10 years from now, that's where I'm going to be. I don't care. I'm sure of it. I mean, if it takes 10 years, I'm sure I'm going to question it many times along the way, but whatever. It doesn't matter. So be in it to win it, or don't be in it at all. But either way, pay attention to what's going on. Sometimes you're going to have to do weird things. Sometimes you might actually date somebody for a week or two because of what you'll learn, because of what you'll experience. You'll see a behavior. Maybe someone will treat you in such a way that you're like, wow, that's how he should treat me. Or, that's how I should be treated by any man. So let it show itself. Let it make a difference. It will. It will totally make a difference if you give it a chance. Dan, RadioStyle.